Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the you in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Civil Discourse. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Steve. We'll be talking about today's news from both sides of the political spectrum. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm good, Wesley. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. I mean, we got a lot of crazy stuff kind of going on here in the United States, of course, like always. I mean, we got your president running roughshod over the Constitution, over the whole entire nation, and pretty much over the whole entire world. But, I'm good still. And let's start this one off today. We're going to talk a little bit about, I know one of your favorite states, Texas. It says Trump started a redistricting war. Only Congress can stop it. A sudden war over redistricting has broken out in Texas and looks to spread across the country, with California, New York, and elsewhere considering tit-for-tat Democratic partisan gerrymandering to negate the Republican hardball in Texas. Congress, rather the courts, is in the best position to stop the upcoming race to the bottom. But even though it's in everyone's interest that Congress act, don't hold your breath. Redistricting, the drawing of district lines for electing members of Congress or state or local representatives, is typically a cyclical affair that starts at the beginning of each decade after the U.S. Census Bureau releases updated population figures. Supreme Court's one person, one vote cases from the Warren Court in the 1960s require that all these districts be redrawn to roughly equalize populations within districts. Other constraints apply too, including compliance with the state laws, the Voting Rights Act, and a requirement that race not be predominant in drawing district lines. So, when I look at what's going on here, it strikes me as being very, very almost like they're trying to usurp an election. Yeah, there's no other way I can kind of put this thing. When you got
I get what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from, but that's not really the case.
I mean, feel free. Go ahead, take the floor. I'd like to hear.
So the census is every 10 years. We're 5 years into the latest census. I get it. But the problem still exists is states have the power to do this, period. There's no argument about it. Okay.
Absolutely.
How they do it, maybe it's questionable. I don't know. I know that Texas is trying to change their districting to benefit Republicans. I get that. But it's no different than any other state that might be a blue state tries and redistrict more for their favor to get more representatives. California, for instance, they've done it in the past. Now, do they do it 5 years into a census? I don't know. I don't know the history.
Or by the president's behest. I need 5 more seats. Can we go ahead and get those for me, Texas? Doesn't sound strange to you?
But if they can do it, they can do it. I mean, it's up to the states to make those changes, right?
In 2021, an actual law was put out there like, hey, let's stop this from happening. And Republicans voted against it. Democrats voted for it. So it is something that they can do. However, it does present a problem of that. This could become like an all-out war between states. This is not a good thing. This is not something that you want. It's like a Pandora. It's like letting something out of the box right here.
That is definitely one way to look at it. But again, I think it's out of the norm for a state like Texas to do something like this. I know they have changed, they've redistricted in the past. I'm not in touch with anybody in charge of that whole situation out there, or who's actually doing it, who's in charge of it. So Absolutely. I can't give you all the details around it, but I will say this. If you look at what the census does count, they even count illegals. So those numbers themselves are inflated to begin with, because they use the census numbers with illegals in it. And that to me,
it helps Texas. That helps Texas.
No, it doesn't. Not necessarily.
Whoa! Texas is not a border state. Texas does not get a bunch of
help them. It does not help them in the long run. Okay?
But how you're talking about by the numbers though? But we're saying it's by the numbers that helps Texas, right? If they're counted, illegals are counted as people, then that helps Texas look like a bigger state than what it is by legal citizenship, right? Texas is a state that's a border state, right?
Well,
there.
I mean,
you got a lot of people crossed over into Texas, and what was Texas doing? They were taking their alleged illegal people and sending them.
But the issue is also in local elections, like here in Georgia. I'm not sure if it's here in Georgia. I know there are a few states that allow illegals to vote in local elections. I think New York is one of them. New York City allows.
I don't know.
I think they do. I think they allow local elections only, not state or not.
That's a tough one.
I believe they do. I believe they do.
I don't know if I'm gonna let you just slide with that one. That's a pretty big one. Allow people who are not here legally to vote. I don't know.
I'll look that one up.
But I'll let you go ahead.
I do believe that's the case, and I know it's somewhere they passed an ordinance or a law. I don't really say a law when it's in a state in a city, but maybe an ordinance or something like that allowed them to do that. But I'll have to take a look at that. I'll make sure I get my facts straight on it. But again, do illegals help the numbers? That's possible. I would say it is possible, because now if you're looking at the number of people in that state that has grown exponentially, people like moving from
Texas?
California,
like
Texas. Yeah. But they, you've got a lot of people that had moved there from California. I mean, a lot of people had moved
from a lot of other places, from a lot of states. I mean, surrounding states have moved to Texas.
Now, when you're looking at the population growth, though, as Texas has had over the last 15, 20 years,
illegals may have helped this. Okay, all right, let's finish up.
I mean, but they're counted in the census, and they probably shouldn't be counted in the census.
Or even
have a population growth such as Texas, you should be able to, without this change your redistricting.
This isn't even actually a official census. This is like their internal census. This is not a
no. This is not their internal census. This is a nationwide census. This is based on
it only happens every 10 years. A nationwide census.
But they waited 5. This is done.
No. They're redistricting off of numbers that they've done internally.
A federal census counts illegals as population.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but right now this is not based off of 2020 census that they're doing this. This was already been changed, had it been based off of 2020 census. This is based off of something they did internally right now. They're basically changing their districts based off of what fits best.
No, it's the United States Census of 2020. I mean, that's what it is. It's not a state-run thing. This is a federal census.
I don't think that this redistricting is based off of the state, because they said it happens every 10 years. Why wouldn't they have changed it in 2020? You get what I'm saying? Why wouldn't they have not changed this whole entire thing based off the 2020 numbers if it gave them 5 more seats? So Texas is gonna say, you know what? We don't want those 5 seats. We don't want more power in the House of Representatives. You guys go ahead and keep those. We'll wait another 10 years. I don't think they're gonna do that. They're going to make sure they get those numbers as soon as they come across. And what they're doing right now is within 5 years, they've redrawn it. They went and counted whoever they wanted to, even the people who they want to put in concentration camps, pretty much. Not concentration. Let me not use that kind of jargon. Not concentration
camps. I'm just going to tell you, you're wrong about it, because you cannot, the state of Texas has to go by the federal standard of census.
I'm not saying they don't.
Hold on. In order to have more federally elected House of Representatives, it's not a statewide census. It's a federal census that they're running on.
But they can run their own census within their own.
But it won't matter. It won't matter for the number for redistricting.
It's happening right now. It's happening right now.
Federal, but it's federal offices.
I'm not saying that they're not using the. I'm not saying they're not going by the guidelines. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not doing it the right way. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm not making that argument at all. What I'm saying is they're doing this halfway through. They might be using the same guidelines or whatever. They might have had the population growth within the last 5 years, but they're jumping the gun, doing it early for a reason that kind of shifted off of what the president wanted based off of that fact, rather than saying, let's wait 10 years, see how this pans out.
It's early or late.
I don't believe it's late. I don't believe it's late at all. I believe it's early. I believe it's super early for them to be doing it. They would have did this. I don't know any state that would not accept.
They would not know what's going to happen in 2030
but they're not, because they're not going off of that. They're going off of population numbers right now. I don't think so.
I don't think they're going off 2020.
I don't think so.
That's the only way you can do it.
I don't think so at all. I think that they wait. Okay, so then that's all. It doesn't
For a House
make
of
sense to me.
Representatives, for a House of Representatives to be voted on, it's a state vote for a national office.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
to vote on a national office, it would be based on the numbers you get from the 2020 census, because that was the last one done.
No, I don't think so, because that's like that doesn't make sense. I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense what you're saying, because it doesn't. Because only reason I say that's because they're not going to wait 10 years to say, oh, I'm going to get the seats that I was deserved in 2020. I'm going to wait 5 years to get them now. That's the part that doesn't make sense. No one would do that. No state would say, all right, you know what? Keep those 5. Let me get them later. But
if you're saying Donald Trump wants them to do it, they're going to do it.
He wants them to do it based off their population figures now. He's saying right now, I think that you guys have had the population growth in these places to be able to redistrict and do this now. We can gain 5 more seats, or it may be this too. We may be both getting this wrong. What it could be is if they just redistrict the places that they already have, they could gain 5 more seats by saying, okay, you know what? This is a Democratic district here. If you shift the population in this district, we can change that to a Republican one, and we can gain 5 seats based off of that. You get what I'm saying? We might be both seeing this the wrong way. You get what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
It may not be that they gained 5 more seats. It may just be that they may end up taking 5 more seats within that state.
So part of the argument, part of the argument, I'm going to read a statement here. The argument from Republicans is that people who are non-citizens and in the country illegally are being counted. It creates an artificially high number for representation. While there's been discussion in the past, the millions of illegal immigrants that arrived in the country during the Biden administration brought the concern back. Okay. So it's an abnormally high number because of illegals. So therefore they have, because of the 2020 census, and now with all the people that have had an influx during that time frame, I mean, yeah, I would see why they would try and redistrict.
I think they're trying to redistrict to try and take away people's vote, take away people's voice. That's what I think they're doing. They're doing something that they've done and they're doing in Florida. They did the same thing. They went in and they went to the population, the people of color, and they redistrict their places along with people who were not of color, and they made sure they took away their representation. This is what it is right here. This is what they've been doing for a very long time. This is why you see a lot of red states doing this. He's doing this preemptively ahead of the 2026 election because he knows that they're going to lose a bunch of seats. It's what's going to happen. He's afraid of being a lame duck president. He wants to be able to plow through with his agenda as best he can. This is what he's normally used to doing.
He's pretty much done it already.
I mean,
he's pretty much done anything he's already said he wanted to do.
He's only passed one bill, really.
Everything bill, right? Pretty big.
Yeah, it was a huge bill. What it did, it took a lot of what it did. He hurt the middle class and he hurt the lower class of people in this country. That's what he did. That's what he did. Yeah, I mean, right now, no one's hurting because it just passed. Right now, we don't see any kind of money being taken off the table because it just passed. But I think over time, we're going to watch that money be taken off the table. Everything's is a trickle effect. And that's what we fail to realize. A lot of times things are trickle effects. Just like this type of a law right here will be a trickle effect. It won't be something that's going to say tomorrow, this hurt us.
Not. But as like that, it's the same as the infrastructure bill that Biden got passed. You're not going to see any benefit from that.
We already have
7 years.
We've already seen benefits from that in this country.
We can't even get internet. We can't even get internet all over the country.
You know why? Because a lot of people don't really want that. I think a lot of people want to keep people away from education, away from things that kind of expand their life and educate them further.
You think the Biden administration wanted to do that because that was their deal? They wanted to get.
I guarantee.
Internet.
I guarantee they want to do that. I guarantee that's what we look at. We look at our chip making ability in this country. How many folds did it increase under the Biden administration? Where did he put us at in the chip race right now under the Biden administration? I mean, there's a lot of things that the Biden administration did that no other. I mean, he expanded different kinds of SNAP benefits for people.
But we still can't get people in rural America internet,
and that's sad because who's mostly the rural American? Who
are the people who represent them?
Who are the people who represent them? Go ahead.
But that's a federal government issue. That's not a state issue.
No, it's both. It's like if your representatives are not pushing
the bill.
Yeah, if you're
passed the bill, Joe Biden passed the bill. It's still not there.
We know what pork barrel spending is, right? You know what pork barrel spending is? that's where people who are representatives from places like myself, like my place and yours, go in there and they make sure in that bill there are things that are in that bill for where they live at. Yeah, they should be taking care of that. That should be getting taken care of by. That's people who are, who are not taking care of it.
This is a federally mandated law that people have internet and they don't yet.
No, don't get me wrong. It's been going on for a long time.
I know people across the river from me that still don't have internet.
Oh, yeah, you act like you saying Biden, but you look at Trump. Did he say anything about you guys' internet? He didn't even care about it. At least Biden tried to make a bill.
Passed. The law's already been passed in the last administration. It still hasn't come to fruition.
So I mean, well, that speaks volumes. Like how quickly these things move. Is he freezing the money? Is what's happening right now? We don't know. His executive orders. Who knows
that
what
money
this guy's
can't be frozen because it's a law.
They froze.
It's already been passed in the law.
We've watched him freeze money for things that have been passed already. Look at NPR and the other budgets. They froze a bunch of money that has already been passed through and already is in bills and everything. They've done that. That's not saying they've done it. So that's what we need to figure out. What have you done with the money that's supposed to be going? Did he redistribute it to his own people?
I don't know. Let's go ask the Biden administration who passed it.
We should ask them, and let's ask your representatives who are in your state who should know where that money is for situations like that for your state.
I agree.
That speaks about that. That's the main people who we really should be asking. We really shouldn't be asking the top. We really should be asking the people who are allocating the funds.
I am disappointed that I cannot get Xfinity for internet here.
I mean, why do you think that is?
I'm just saying, I am damn upset by that. I'm being facetious.
I can see that's a problem for you guys not to have internet. But at the end of the day, the way that your party is gerrymandering the vote, you see it happening. I see it happening. They're corrupting the entire system in the United States. This is breaking the foundation of what we have as a country.
Again, I ask, do you think it is out of the norm, but other states have done it? I mean, it's been going on since the United States was created.
I don't know that they've done it in the middle of a census. And when you look at we read it out, you're not hearing it saying, oh, this is something that's been going on for this many people have done. They're telling us when how most times when you read something, they'll say that this is normal. States do this, these states right here. We don't see that in anything that we're reading. They're saying the first thing they're saying is, hey, they do it during the census. They might gerrymander right after the census is over. They might gerrymander the hell out of their districts real quick. I mean, you know who I did see doing it? Florida. You know who I'm seeing doing it more than anyone else? Republicans. Red districts are doing this more than anyone else. But you read a list to me of states that are doing it. Like 3 states were blue. You would say one of them I'm giving you one of them because
there were only 7 states in that list.
No, there was. There's way more. It was like 8 Republican states on that list. It was like Arkansas. I mean, this state, that state,
Texas,
state.
Arkansas, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Maryland. I mean, those North Carolina.
That wasn't it. They'll try to stop now. Don't try to stop. You see how many states? It's like 11 states on there.
Those were all blue states.
Who? Texas, blue? Arkansas? What? What?
Oh, I didn't mean to say Texas. I meant to say Wisconsin, Maryland, Ohio.
Ohio's not a blue state. Ohio's not a blue state. When you have a Republican governor and you have 2 Republican senators, you are not purple. You're not purple.
It is 100%.
No, you're not.
Listen, the governor doesn't matter. Okay, you can have a Democratic governor in a state that votes primarily red. Okay,
it happens every now and then. But you have 2. You're gonna have 2 red senators.
It happens to Ohio.
Are you going to have 2 senators as well? Both your senators are Republicans in Ohio.
No, hell, Georgia voted red, and we have 2 Democratic senators.
Yeah, and a Republican.
There goes your logic right there.
And
your
a Republican and a Republican governor.
And a Republican governor. We have two senators that are Democrats. So your argument holds no.
I said that you have the Republican governor and 2 senators. If you got 1 and 1, that's different. If you got 1 senator that's blue, 1 senator that's red, that's a little different. You might be a blue state, but you guys, they have all 3. It's a trifecta up there, a trifecta.
But it's still purple every year. It's still toss up every year.
It's a toss up.
Every presidential election is a toss up state.
You see who's been winning.
You know it as well as I do.
We see who's been winning it lately. Trump has won Ohio both times, hands down.
Biden won Pennsylvania.
I don't think he won Ohio
in 2020.
I don't know if he won Ohio though.
That doesn't matter. It's a purple state, man. It's a toss up every election cycle.
Ohio's a red state. If we look, I bet you they have way more. I bet you they have more representatives that are Republican than Democrat. Bet you on that one. You know, what I mean, all they have is they have like the Cuyahoga.
You might be losing some money tonight, Wesley.
I don't know about that one. I'm trying to tell you, it's basically a red, it's basically a sea of red and a couple blue little spots there. I'm trying to tell you that's what Ohio is right there. But enough. But let's just to put this to bed. To be real, this is something that I think is going to like further crack the foundation of who we are as a country. We have a president who's a very divisive person right now, who's cracking norms, making sure that America will never be the same America again. I mean, you're opening doors for future presidents to pretty much run roughshod over law, over norms, over the Constitution. This is what he set us up for. And we're sitting here like, oh, this is normal. This is fine. We're okay with it. You know, Kamala Harris said something. I think she was like, basically, she said, I predicted, you know, that she was on Stephen Colbert's show. That I predicted that, you know, this is what he would do, but I didn't predict that people would allow him to do it. And this is what I think that we're doing. We're allowing him to do it. But I know you had another subject that we wanted to touch on as well. Whenever you're ready, Steve.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Gaza. Let's just throw that one out there for now. Okay. One of the things that we discussed the last couple of weeks, we've actually probably touched on it a little bit, but one of the things that we discussed was, you know, is the aid getting to where it's supposed to go? There's been a lot of reporting out there that, you know, Netanyahu and Israel are blocking aid from getting into Gaza. I've also said that, you know, that Hamas has been taking that aid and taking it for themselves so that people can't get it. It is a humanitarian crisis over there right now. Period. End of story. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Whatever's going on over there is completely wrong, and it needs to get rectified and get rectified quick before we have more people starving to death over there. We just had a video come out from Hamas where it showed an extremely skinny hostage digging his own grave. Yeah. Digging his own grave, Wesley. Disgusting.
No, that's sad. That, I mean, to me, like, taking hostages to begin with, like killing, whether they say they didn't kill any kids, this is what they say, I don't know. You know, you got people over here in caves, skinny, emaciated, not eating. I mean, it's just looking sickly to me. I won't even say troubling. To me, that's not the word you use when you're taking people who have nothing to do with what you're doing. Nothing to do with what I mean. Right. These are people who are living their regular lives, whether they understand that they're supposed to be here, or this was your grandparents' land, or whatever the case may be. These people go fight the military then. If this is what you want to do, I understand that they're doing this to your people. You feel like they're doing this to your people. They're killing, innocents as well. Your people before the October 7th attack. I get it. So sometimes you do things to be able to feel like, okay, one for one is, one eye for an eye. But regardless, man, taking people and putting them in caves and making them dig their own graves. Like, imagine the kind of fear you're pumping into people. Like, go fight the people who are killing your people by 60,000 of your fellow men, the ones who are killing women, children, and kids. Release these people so that there's no more of a conversation of release the hostages and we'll stop the bombing. That's just me. I mean, hey, at this point in time, points have been proven on all sides. Okay, you've proven the point that you'll break through the line and kill who you killed, and they've proven the point they'll come in there and they'll decimate everything over what you did. And at the same time, with that same video, the timing of that video seemed odd to me. It seemed really odd to me when the whole world's sentiment was turning against Israel, saying, "Hey, you guys need to bring in aid. You guys need to bring in food." All of a sudden, Hamas has the genius idea of sending out a hostage video of a guy skinny as a toothpick digging inside of a hole, looking like death sucking on come on, let's be real.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And
then you got Netanyahu
regardless
on the
regardless of who
boys.
did it.
I'm like, you got Netanyahu going on the Nilk podcast. He's trying to pump it up for, what his agenda is. And also going on, I think, Piers Morgan trying to pump up. I mean, to me, that sounds like a propaganda tool, but I can't say, it doesn't matter what it is. The fact of the matter is, you got a person sitting in a hole looking like this. That's the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Period, plain and simple.
So, according to the GHF, which is the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, they have distributed over 106 million meals efficiently and directly since May, while pushing back on criticism and claims that sites are dangerous. The organization insists that its goal is to feed Palestinians in need while bypassing Hamas, the terror group governing the war-torn enclave. So I'm going to read another statistic down here, which to me it's striking.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, the UN, now this is UN, so this is not the United States, this is not Israel coming up with this number.
Mm-hmm.
They released its monthly infographic on UN 2720 mechanism for Gaza. In June 2025, the UN reported that out of its 1,090 aid trucks, only 47 arrived at an intended civilian destination inside Gaza. Meanwhile, the other 1,043 trucks were allegedly intercepted either peacefully by hungry people or forcefully by armed actors in Gaza. That is an astounding number to me.
Absolutely.
1,043 trucks didn't make it to their destination. Now, regardless of where they went, that number is astounding to me, that much aid was held back from getting to where it needed to go in Gaza. While it was already in Gaza, it never made it to its destination.
And it seems like to me, like, this is from my perception. This is all perception. I feel like more or less they have control over a large swath of Gaza. This is the IDF. This is Israel. They have a control over, and that's not to say it's like complete control. This is probably why, out of fear, they use bullets to keep people back from certain things, because they know they really can't control them with manpower. You just can't. It's just not there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you're using bullets this is not to say that that's okay, because it's not, because you create a psyche of a person who's crazy at that point in time. Well, imagine a person shooting at you that holds you back. That's what your stay back is. It's not the water hose like they used before. It's bullets that can bounce up and kill people, all kind of, But so that's why they're doing it. But to me, the way that you conducted this war has created the way this is going, the way you've conducted it. We could have easily had UN troops, all kind of troops set up in here, having aid stations that are going betweens where there's aid stations.
They do have this is coming from the UN.
We know that there's been over 1,000 UN aid workers that's been killed by the IDF, blown up. But this is when they're on their regular runs, they're being killed and blown up by the IDF. And so a lot of these places don't even want to be there. They're like, we're not sending our,
there. They are handing. I mean, you have other organizations besides the UN handing out.
Absolutely, you do, and they are the ones who are complaining that they're not getting the aid. So there needs to be some kind of consortium. Okay, if you're going to conduct a war in such a manner, I'm not saying I know how to conduct a war. I've never conducted a war in my entire life, but I do believe that you have supply chains. Everyone has a supply chain at war. Am I wrong about that, Steve?
No,
you have ways to resupply your troops. Yes. That's the same way. The way you resupply your troops is the same way you should be allowing the aid to go through to these people, so they understand these are safe zones for them to eat at and for them to be at. Anything outside of here, it's war. That's what it is. So if you're outside of there, there's going to be a problem, and we're going to go through these encampments and check for people who are possible Hamas. This is what we're going to do. This is how you root these people out, because outside of here, it's not. It's war zone. Inside of here is safe zone. However, we're going to come through here and we're going to conduct sweeps.
So the question I would have for you is, how do you know who Hamas is?
They seem to know. They have those AI. No, listen, they have those AI. You haven't heard about? I forget what it was called. We reported on this in the beginning of the war. I think it was called something Daddy, Fine Daddy, or something like that. Where they have AI generated,
like some website that I don't want to go to.
It's not, but I'm trying to tell it's crazy, man. I'm trying to tell you, this is what they were using in the beginning of the war to find people. What they would do is it would have like kind of a blueprint of who they thought was. And what would happen is then they said, you know what, we're willing to give up 15 civilian deaths to kill this level member of who we think this is, or this person this is what they were doing in the beginning of the war. They were being accused of this, and this is what they were using AI. People came out, Israeli troops came out and said they were using this. People were actually using the mechanism, who were actually controlling the mechanisms, came out and said this. You know what I mean? And this is so they have an idea who are just going to kill anybody. So if that's the case, you don't know who Hamas is. So if that's the case, then how does this war ever end?
I don't know.
get what I'm saying?
They know who the command and control is for Hamas.
Get them. So
they're trying to find out, but that's what they've been trying to do. But to get command and control, if they're surrounded by civilians, that is a pain in the butt. Because now you're going to have to
walk through,
put civilian people in harm's way, and Hamas is putting people in harm's way. It's not the IDF that's putting people in harm's way. If the IDF is trying to get to these people and they're surrounding themselves with civilians, there's going to be casualties. There always is.
When you're just blowing up, it's different when you send in actual troops to conduct these raids. Send in troops. What they're doing is blowing up whole entire encampments, everything. We're watching it happen time and time again. This is what they're doing. They're not going in and in America for us. I believe more or less when we were in Iraq. I'm not saying we weren't blowing up buildings. I'm not saying we're killing. I know we killed at will in Iraq, but I think we the reason why we lost so many troops is we were actually going into the buildings with troops. Not saying that was the smartest thing for us to do, but it actually held that. We had over 1 million people die in Iraq. They already said 1 million people died in Iraq. So to say that we conducted that war any better than anyone else, what I'm saying is I don't believe that you should just have mass civilian casualties to hope that you killed one person who's a general.
You never want that. You never want that.
It's happening.
Civilian casualties. But
I believe that they do. I believe that they do, and they do not care. I believe they're trying to take these people's land. That's why Netanyahu just came out and said, "We're taking Gaza. We're taking Gaza." They use wording that meant either conquering or occupying. They used a word that could be construed as either one. That's intentional. It's a Hebrew word because it was all in Hebrew when they wrote it out. So they used the Hebrew word that could be construed as either one of those two. They've been talking about this. They have settlers who are already ready to go in and start settling Gaza. Jared Kushner came out and said the same thing. Donald Trump came out and said the same thing. This is a known fact that they're coming in to do this. So for us,
let me ask you a question though: is that a bad thing?
Yes.
Why? If you have groups of people coming in and willing to rebuild it better.
No. That's like saying, okay,
why is it bad? You don't want that?
No, I don't. I would never want.
You just want them to live in the hovels that they live in now, the ones that are destroyed.
They were living in hovels. They now. Did they have buildings? No, they were not. They had buildings. They had universities. They had universities and buildings. They had television stations there. They had all kinds of stuff in Gaza. You didn't see by the waterfronts, the houses they had over by the waterfront. They had nice things.
That's a small percentage of it.
You know what I'm?
That's a small percentage of Gaza.
There's poor places everywhere. Do I want people to go in and say, if I blow up everybody and kill everybody and run them out of here, I'd rather have. What are we saying when we say something like that? What are we saying? So that means that we should go kill and maim and run out people and genocide people in order for someone else to come in and has more. I'm just saying this is what it sounds like. When you say something like that, that's basically if I go blow you up and take your stuff and I can bring in richer people who have more money than you to make it nicer than what you had, I should have your stuff.
I'm saying bring in people that we will rebuild for them. For the people of Gaza, for the Palestinians.
Do you believe these people are coming here to rebuild for them? No, this is what they're coming to do. They're settling.
You have no clue about that. You have
they just did it. They did it in the West Bank, man. They're doing it in the West Bank right now. They've already talked about taking Gaza. Yeah, they're doing it right now, factually. Is that not true? Have they not got settlements all over the West Bank right now? Yeah.
Are Palestinians not living in the West Bank? Yes.
They weren't. No Israelis are supposed to live in the West Bank at all. They're not supposed to be in the West Bank, but they've settled and they've started making settlements to the point to where they're saying, you guys can't even travel through
West Bank when Palestinians are allowed to live in Tel Aviv and in Jerusalem and in all these other cities.
They're not allowed to create settlements in the West Bank. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. Settlements are different. When you start saying, you guys can only travel from here to here to here to get to your home. You can no longer go through here because this is a settlement, which we have armed and taken from you. That's what the problem is. If they want to live amongst each other, they can do that. But when you say, this is mine, I'm taking this, they took the Golden Heights as well. Did they not do that too? So are we going to sit back and act like we don't know what their intentions are? We know what their intentions are. You know what their intentions are. They're going to come in and rebuild this better. What did Trump say? We're going to resettle the Palestinians in a much nicer place. That's good for them. And but they're going to give them back their property after they come and build a 5-star hotel and resorts and casinos. They're going to say, hey, Palestinians with no education, you haven't been to school in years. Your kids don't even have an education. Come on back in here and live in these houses that you can't afford. That's what they're going to do. It makes sense to anyone? Doesn't. There's no way.
You got 3 million Palestinians that live in the West Bank. So
all I'm gonna say is we both know they're taking this against international rules. They've settled, taken their land, taken their property, and they're continuing to make more settlements because their plan is to take all of Israel, which was not theirs before. They were brought in as colonizers to a degree. They were allowed to be there also by Palestinians after a while. Like, hey, come live here. Then all of a sudden, when the treaty ended, the next day they declared their independence and they start wiping out Palestinians and taking their property and taking their land. That's what they did. This is the factual matter behind this situation, and they're taking their land further right in front of our face because none of us have the gall to stand up and say it's wrong. That's the problem. That's what's going on here.
There's just over 500,000 Jews that live in the West Bank.
Wow. So there's 3 million. Oh, yeah. I mean, wow. Or 500,000. That's a good percentage right there, isn't it? Was that 10% at least? It's about a little over 10, 15%. I wonder what it'll be in 20 years. Wonder what that'll be in 20 years from now. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wonder how many of them they killed already over in Gaza. They say 60,000, but they don't count the bodies under the rubble. So we could talk about that too. When are they going to do that to the PLO? When are they going to turn around and say they're a terrorist organization and they should be wiped out as well?
The problem still exists though, that we still have 50 hostages that are still there. Yeah. We don't even know how many are still alive. They think maybe 20.
You heard Netanyahu. He said he doesn't care. He said we're going into where the hostages are. We're going to blow whatever we want to do. We don't care. This is what we're doing. We're no longer.
But if they're not willing to,
they should have been did it.
They
should have been did. They should have been went in there on foot instead of blowing up buildings, instead of sending in demolition crews to blow up everything they could possibly see, so they can do exactly what you said they should do.
Are going to get harmed if they do that? Of course they will.
I mean, I think that less civilians will be harmed if you send in armed troops. I think they have the capabilities to run down Hamas. I think they have that capability easily. I mean, we've given these guys, what was it, like 20,000 pound, 2,000 ton or whatever there's pound bunker busting bomb. We got everything. They got everything over there. They got stuff. They got stuff Gaza, Hamas couldn't even dream of. Like, what is this? They've never even seen this type of technology before. I bet you, not to say when an Israeli soldier falls, which is never a good thing for anyone to fall in war. They take stuff off their bodies. They're probably like, I don't even know how to use the guns they got. They're like, what is this? They've never even seen this. This is like alien technology for these people over here. You know what I mean? So let's just be real.
But AK-47s, man, they do some damage. Have you ever shot one of those things?
No, don't get me wrong. Damage. All I'm saying is at this point we're at right now, man, we're probably in one of the worst humanitarian crises of our lifetime. There's been a lot of them. Kosovo there's a lot of other ones in our lifetime too. There's been some bad ones, but this is one that we're watching and we're sitting back and we're allowing a person to come stand in front of our Congress, talk about the American people, calling us idiots and dumb and all kinds of stuff. And our president is standing up for them to the point to where he's willing to say, you know what, if any one of you states talk bad about Israel or prevent them from doing business in your state, I'm not going to give you FEMA, which is a federally funded program that our tax dollars goes into. It speaks volumes about what's going on over in Gaza. And I got one more for you guys. This is one that Steve came up with. I know that he's very interested in the fact that possibly AOC running for president.
Woo! I can't wait.
Why AOC could take the White House in 2028. When former Vice President Kamala Harris announced that she would not be running for California governor, she appeared to leave the door open to another shot at the White House in 2028. However, the real Democratic contender to watch is not Harris. Rather, implausible as it may seem to some, New York Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez appears to be the front runner for the Democrat 2028 presidential nomination. Should she forego a Senate campaign, which she would most certainly win? Put another way, right now, Kamala Harris will likely not be president in 2028, but AOC could very well be the Democrat nominee with a shot at the White House. I say this for multiple reasons. First, it could be argued that AOC is even stronger than other presidential candidates at this moment in their careers or respective races. At this point in 2028 election cycle, in 2008 election cycle, coinciding with the summer of 2005, Barack Obama was not even considered enough of a serious candidate to be included in polls. Likewise, in 2020 primary, which Harris was forced to withdraw from before a single vote was cast. Harris' high watermark in the poll 2 years out was 7% in Axios poll. So, Steve, I know you've said that you feel like she's a front runner for president.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see a bartender get to be president of the United States. They'd get the backing of every bar goer in the country for that.
We got a felon as president. I mean, what's the difference?
Well, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, we got it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
hey,
we're making strides. We're making strides for diversity, I guess is what we're doing.
You know what I mean? It's funny because I mean, when you look at it, I bet you a lot of people have had different backgrounds, and I know that she was a bartender while she was going to college. Actually, I believe she has her law degree or something like that. But we call her a bartender though. It's crazy that we would just say you're a bartender when she probably has, like, I'm not sure, maybe it's just a bachelor's degree. I don't know what she has, but she has a college degree.
I don't think she has a college degree. I don't think she's a lawyer.
College degree, you know what I mean? But everyone calls her a bartender. Like, that's a bad thing. When she didn't have daddy's money to be able to not have to work and go to college at the same time, we're all degrading that person, but we're cheering on the guy who had bone spurs, who was like, oh, I can play football, but I cannot go to war. I cannot, you know, saying I cannot serve in your army, sir. My dad gave me a what do you call it? A meager.
Remember
a meager sum of $1 million in the 70s.
If he had bone spurs, that was a reason for being kept out of the military.
Yeah, I mean, that was also a reason a lot of people used to be kept out of the war. You know what I mean? He said he's the most fit president we've ever had, but he's had bone spurs. What's going on? Which one is it? Is he got bone spurs or doesn't he got bone
cankles?
Spurs?
He's got cankles. You know what I mean?
He's got them now because he didn't do
nothing
about
with
himself
earlier. Yeah, we did talk about cankles earlier.
Yeah, they're hereditary. For all you guys
I don't have a problem with her running. I think it's going to be. Honestly, I think it's a really good thing for the Democratic Party. Don't get me wrong, because you need somebody in there that's a fresh face, because you have nobody right now. Nobody.
I think we got quite a few people actually.
Not at the level that she's at in a popularity contest. That's exactly. She's definitely the most popular and most engaging person in your party at this point in time. She has been for the last 2 or 3 years, because she speaks her mind. And what, right or wrong, she speaks her mind. Okay, she gets out there, she talks to the people. She's out there on the No Oligarchs tour with good old Bernie Sanders out there. Which, okay, but to me, I don't see anybody on the Democratic side of the house that can beat her if she tried to run. I don't.
Who do you think is the next big Republican candidate? I'm not to change the subject.
It's not going to be J.D. Vance. It won't be J.D. Vance.
So you guys have no one then. So it's pretty much nobody versus nobody.
No.
So,
I would definitely say I think Kemp could run.
Josh Hawley.
What's that?
Hawley will probably run. Josh Hawley.
Yeah. I think you might have Tom Cotton run. I think Marco Rubio is definitely going to run.
Tom Cotton. That says Marco.
I think Rubio
has more of a chance than him. I think he does.
Rubio is probably the front runner if he decides to run for president. I really do.
Yeah,
I think DeSantis will probably try again. I don't, but he won't stand a snowball's chance in hell. I don't think so. I don't think Josh Hawley would stand a chance.
But he has a look.
Governors. I think there's the governor of Virginia. I think would make a decent candidate for president, because he's kind of a he's not out far right. I don't think Hot Wheels is going to run for president.
Yeah, he's too divisive. I mean, he'd win a lot of he'd win probably Texas.
By the way, I do love that Crockett called him Hot Wheels. I'm just saying, I think that was a great moniker for him.
I mean,
I laughed when I heard that. Every time I hear it, I laugh.
It's strange that Texas was so like they're so willing to have diversity, you know, and inclusion at the top of the ticket there, but they're very much like, oh, anywhere else we're not okay with it. But they're good with Abbott being, you know, disabled. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, they let a guy named Beto run. I mean, come on,
Beto O'Rourke.
Beto
O'Rourke. They got Ted Cruz too. I mean, as well. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that.
He's not a Beto. He's not a Beto.
It's a Cruz though. It's a Cruz.
He's a Cruz.
You know what I mean?
He's Hispanic.
But let's say this right here. I mean, I don't know if he's really claiming that side of himself or not. I don't know if he's really embracing that part of himself.
Wasn't his daddy Cuban? His daddy was Cuban,
but
wasn't he?
He tries to make sure his name is Ted though. Ted. It's Ted. It's not anything else. It's not anything else. But what I would say, I believe we have the guy in who's the guy over the governor of Pennsylvania? What was his name?
Shapiro.
We got him. He's he's
I
good.
think no,
He's
he won't
good.
get because he's Jewish. He will never be president.
I don't know.
That's why he didn't get a chance to run with Kamala.
I think
That's
that
100% the reason.
I want to say that I'm be honest. I was happy she didn't choose him, especially at the timing. The timing of that affair did not feel good to me. Just the timing of it. It was the timing. If the timing wasn't,
she picked.
If the timing wasn't
Dullard for a vice presidential running mate.
If the timing wasn't bad as it was, I feel like that her best pick would have been Shapiro.
Oh,
if it wasn't for
I
what
think they lost because of that.
If it wasn't to a degree, and plus it's because of her too. He can't run the ticket.
No, he can't. But he I think he could run the ticket, but they won't let him.
I mean, no. When I'm talking about, he couldn't have ran her ticket. That was like he was already the chosen one. He couldn't have said, "Okay, I can make this ticket work."
We didn't find out who the chosen one is. Remember? We did.
We found out who the chosen one was because they picked her. She really got a bad hand.
They didn't pick her. He picked her.
She really got a bad hand. I mean, I think the powers that be all together.
Had Joe not said that he was going to support her for president, that was the nail in the coffin right there, because they didn't get a chance to put anybody else up.
And they didn't.
Because you're not going to go against the sitting president for who he wants to be president.
And you're not gonna have a primary in July. You're not doing that. No one is. And you got you have your convention in August. Doesn't make any sense at all. You don't have time. Who are you going to have a primary all 50 states? You're going to primary all 50 states in that amount of time. In
have a vote at the DNC. Have a vote at the DNC.
I mean, that would. I mean,
they could have done that.
So you wait a whole extra month and kill your chances at pretty much even winning the presidency at all. That just didn't make sense.
They killed it when they
she really. I mean, no, I don't think so. I think she just she really ran a bad campaign. They had a little life breathed back into it when she first came out. If she came out with some energy and some power,
from all the people in the news that were sitting there going, "Oh my God, this is the best campaign anybody could ever run." That came out every single day.
I don't think so. I think
until she lost, and then it was like, well, it was terrible. It was terrible.
No, I was saying that from the beginning. They should have let her speak her mind. I didn't like that from the very beginning. But I think we have Shapiro. I think we have what was that, Osloff in you guys' state? What was his name?
But I don't think he's going to win the Senate.
I think he will. Depending on who's running against.
Yeah, I don't remember who's running against.
There's probably nobody that can beat him right now. I think he's young and vibrant in your state. I think that he probably has a lot of money behind him as well from different, interest groups. I think we got AOC, you got Bernie,
Bernie won't run. There's no way Bernie runs.
Possibly.
No way.
I'm not sure how old he is.
Done. I think we are done with geriatrics. Okay.
I'm not sure how old he is. I'm not sure how old he is.
Even on the Republican side, we're not going to have anybody that old again.
I'm not sure how old Bernie is though. Right now, Bernie's always looked old.
He's in his 80s.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in his 80s.
I don't know, but I mean, so maybe it's not him, but I believe we'll have a candidate akin to that type of populist kind of a, that kind of a.
Well, that's AOC.
Kind of a vibe. I don't know if it'll be AOC. I mean, I hope that she's going to have to polish up a lot more to be able to run on a national level. I really think that. So. That's kind of what I think about that. But I hope that I like her though. Personally, I really like AOC. I like her policies. I think she's for the people. Period.
I think Mayor Pete's probably going to run.
Buttigieg probably will run too. I think he'll
probably run again. I think you're going to probably have at least a dozen people on the Democratic.
Yeah, definitely.
Ticket.
I mean, you're going to have more than that probably.
Newsom's definitely going to run.
Yeah, I think Newsom might run too.
Definitely run.
And I've told myself I don't want to vote for Newsom because of his stances. The more I've listened to him talk, the more I've kind of grown to like him a little bit better, but at the same time, I don't like what you came out for in California. And that's one thing that makes it hard for me to support him.
He's doing one thing that's pretty smart.
PR.
Okay. He's putting himself out there with other people from the other side of the aisle.
Hannity, he put himself out there with the other guy, Sean. I think his name was Strickland or whatever his guys. I forget his name.
And that's a smart thing to do because you get your name out there on both sides of the house,
and you let the fight happen right there. You're basically running a campaign against everything that's negative against you. Because the first guy you talk to, he may kid glove you a little bit, but when you get to a Handy, the second and third guy who's there when it's their turn to talk to you, they're gonna know all your talking points, so they're gonna hit you with things that other people can say. Hey, say this to him. Say this to him. Ask him that.
It's very good practice.
It's great
good practice. And it's hard to beat the whole entire.
the baggage that they come with.
I think he's two-faced a little bit.
Me too. He took away reparations.
That's why I wouldn't really trust him to vote for him. I'm not saying there's not anybody out there I wouldn't vote for on the Democratic side if they had.
I don't know. You're a Republican. You voted for Bob Dole. You said you voted for Bob Dole. No, no,
I didn't vote for Bob Dole. I did not. I don't know.
I don't know if you didn't vote that election. I think you did. I think you just tell us you voted for Bob Dole
on that one.
I think you told us. I think we had a conversation a little earlier about there are people, and he's like, I voted for Bob Dole. Then he wanted to take it back that he didn't vote for Bob Dole. I said nobody voted for Bob Dole. Let's be honest. He was like, yeah, I voted for Bob Dole. But no, but I think don't get me wrong. I love AOC's morally. I love the fact she's out for the Green New Deal. I love the fact that she's for the people. She wants to help. I mean, that's what this is all about. That's what's hurting our country. We do not have a strong middle class. We look at the top end of our country. They basically own all the wealth.
But socialism is not going to help the middle class.
It's not about. I don't think that it's all about all out. So you know me. I'm not about socialism, but I do think it's about.
But she is. She's 100% for socialism.
And that's where I think that's what's
going to kill her.
And that's why I think that she has to it's hard. It's going to be ever. This is what I'm going to say. I think people are going to move more towards socialist policies as we grow as a country, because you know why? Because this country's moving more toward an oligarchy. It just is.
You're not going to have grocery stores, retail stores like what Mamdani wants to do in New York City. They're not going to want to do that. It's not going to happen.
He's not. But you know what he's doing? You know what he's really doing? I mean, honestly, what he's really doing, he's saying, I'm going to start 5 grocery stores. I think in the 5 boroughs. He's going to put 1 in each borough, where he's going to say, you know what? We're going to have better controls on our prices of the food that we eat. Our government puts so much money. I'm out. That's true. We can't do it. We can't do that. We can't. If we're subsidizing you, we talked about this already. And we're subsidizing you to not grow certain fruits and vegetables, or to not not have as many cows and pigs or whatever. And we're subsidizing you with food stamps as well too. On top of that, come on, there is an opportunity. And also, if you're price gouging our people, we have a duty to step in and say, you know what? People are hungry. People are starving. Our grocery bills are through the roof. No, you're not going to overcharge us. Just like we have a duty when it comes to medicine.
But Wesley, you're talking about New York City, the biggest capitalist city in the world.
And there's nothing wrong with capitalism. There's something wrong with price gouging. We have laws against price gouging. You know that, right? In this country, we have laws against price gouging. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. You're not
going to be able to control the price of goods and services. You just can't do it.
They do it all the time. You can't
sit there and say you can't sell that orange for more than 50 cents. You can't do
that.
If the price of commodities and produce
fluctuate. Exactly. And that's what they'll go off of. It will not be gone off of, hey, this is a quarter. It's always a quarter. It's going to be a quarter.
That's called price control.
That's okay. So what I'm saying is it's going to go off of more of off market price of it. Not saying, okay, this is what they're doing right now. They make it they're making it for 5 cents or 2-3 cents a piece or whatever, less than that even. And they're selling them for $1.50. Come on, man. It's gotten to a point to where we're getting gouged, even for our medicines, even for our medical, everything we're getting gouged for. It's a problem. It's seen every country in the world.
It's never gonna fly. It's never flown. It's never been successful. Tell me a country that's been successful as a socialist country. Zero.
This is what I'm gonna say. Let me finish. What I'm gonna say is I don't believe in socialism as a whole. I've never have. I don't think it's a good idea as a whole.
What New York's gonna get.
They're not gonna get socialism. What they're gonna say is, you know what? I'm gonna bring down the price of rent. I'm gonna bring down the price of food. I'm gonna bring down the price of transportation. Like I'm gonna make it free for city buses. I'm gonna bring some of those things and put those things in line. I'm gonna help you with
property, right? You own property.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with the government telling you can't raise the price of your rent for the property that you own?
This is what I'm going to say. I mean, I'm not going to say that I 110% agree with that, but I do agree with the fact of how quickly their prices of their rent has gone through the roof. I do believe that that's a problem. That's an issue.
Guess what? Taxes go up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so these things. And so do you know what his plan is? His plan is, which Maryland has already done the same exact thing. I believe that Maryland, I believe it was in Maryland, Massachusetts, did the same exact thing already, where they raised the rate on their top earners to 4%. And you know what? to their millionaires, and you know what they said the millionaires would flee. They went up. They got 40% more millionaires from the time they did that than and until now. So I mean, this is not. It doesn't happen that way. So this is how you supplement some of those programs that they're going to have here. You know what I mean? This is how I'm looking at it.
I do not see that working in a city like New York. I just don't see it.
I don't think that. I think that we get it wrong when we say that, oh, we don't want these people to tell us how much we should be able to raise our prices. I think that people have just raised their prices so exponentially high and so quickly that's the problem. More than it is the problem of you raising your rent.
Well,
it's
let me
problem
ask you
of how much.
Why do you think those prices go up though?
I think it's because whoever's willing to pay for it after a minute.
No. Taxes. That's the reason. That's a reason. But I also believe that probably the biggest reason, because New York State is one of the highest tax states in the country, if not the highest.
I don't know that to be true or not. I can't say that's true or not.
I think California might have them beat.
But they're high. But they're taxed on their high. It's their high earners that are taxed the most. It's not their lower earners. Not in California, at least, because Gavin Newsom already came out and said it. We have the lowest tax rates for our middle and lower class people. We have the lowest tax rates, like some of the lowest tax rates around the country, lower than Texas. It's even been said. It's already out there. It's our high earners that get taxed the most. That's why it sounds like that. But let me say this: Do I believe that? Like I say, I believe that this country already has socialist ideologies within it already. We have the police force, we have the military, a lot of them. We have a lot, but do we need? Should there be universal health care? Should there be universal child care?
I don't agree with the military and fire departments being socialist.
They are. That's a socialist program. Look it up. You should look it up.
A lot of them get paid. They get paid.
Every socialist people get paid too. You're saying socialism people don't get paid in socialism?
But I mean, it's for protection. It's a program that everyone pays for.
That's pretty much you should look it up.
Okay.
It's true.
In a technical term, yes.
It's socialism.
I'll give you that.
It just is. You know what I mean?
But that's not really socialism. You're paying for a service, is what you're doing.
You know why we don't like to hear that?
Service.
You know why? Yeah, and that's what socialism does, pays for services. But you know why we don't like to hear that? Because socialism becomes a bad term. That's why we all have to look at it. Oh, it's bad. It's a bad thing. No, it's not bad.
It's never worked
as an overall ideology. It should not be our overall ideology as a country. I don't believe that. But I do believe we should be looking out for our people first.
That's what maybe the future mayor of New York wants.
No, I don't think so. I think that he wants to look out for the people who are being left behind. That's what I think he wants to do. I think he wants to say, you know what? New York has this many million people. Only this small amount of them have a lot of money. The rest of them are struggling.
He also wanted to defund
badly.
The police.
I mean, I think in some aspects you need to say, you know what? Okay,
I don't think city of New York.
I don't think that, you know what? A lot of these places are having their.
What did you say?
A lot of these cities have
a bad thing. If you want to defund the police,
do you know that crime in America has plummeted like since the 90s by a lot? But let me say this: I don't think it's about defunding the police. I think it's about allocating funds in the right place. I don't think that's a policeman need to go into every situation. Dealing with that, I think dealing with that situation. I think sometimes you have to send in maybe a policeman along with mental health experts to deal with certain things. It shouldn't be police to deal with. Go take the kitten out the tree. Go do this. Go do that. No, some things we don't need you to do. We need you to fight crime, real crime. This is where we need you to be at right here. Now let's take this money and reallocate it to something different. One more time.
They get animal control to do the kitten.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about every situation should not be handled by a policeman who is probably poorly trained. I mean, doesn't have the kind of rest time at home with his family, and just probably has mental health issues that he aren't even dealing with, because he just has to get up and see the worst of people every single day. We do need a different way of dealing with. Why do we have some people incarcerated in this country? There's a problem around the board. We have education problem. We have childcare problem. There's a lot that's going on here. Back in the day, we used to have two parents in a home. One could stay home, the other could go to work. So we had a better balance at home. We don't have that anymore. So we have higher crime rates and worse things going on.
Well, I mean, you see the nuclear family is no longer existent in this country because the left doesn't want it.
No, that's not true.
The left. The left is pushing that.
That's not true.
Oh my God, it is.
This is what I honestly believe. It's not about that. It's happened well before that. It happened once you start seeing prices rise, once you start seeing the middle class plummet. This is when this happened. When the middle class fell off the cliff, that's when you start seeing that happening. And a lot of other things too, as far as like, the war on drugs, you know what I mean? A lot of other things that we can get into as well. where they start attacking certain
Crime
people in this
bills.
country. Yeah, they
Crime
start
bills.
attacking certain people. Absolutely. When they start attacking certain class people in this country, we saw it happen. It's the government. They saw that how they can divide the people and take the money. How can you do it? What's the best way you can possibly do it? And when you say the government, you're talking about the people who control the government, people with the money. They got the money. I control the government. That's just how it goes. The government doesn't control itself. There's people who have the money who pull the strings of government, and that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
They pulled our strings to the degree.
I don't disagree with that. But again, society itself is when you go to New York City. I don't know if you've ever been to New York City. I've been there quite a few times. I was there last winter. It has changed dramatically. When I was there when I was 16. It was back in the 80s. It was horrible.
Horrible. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I mean, you couldn't go to Times Square.
80s,
you couldn't go to Times Square. I was 16. I was scared for my life up there.
Yeah.
But definitely. I turn around. I've gone back numerous times over the years because I didn't live too far away from there.
Mm-hmm.
But this last time I went up over the winter, around Christmas time, it's done a 180. Giuliani cleaned it up. What Bloomberg helped clean it up. I mean, you had both sides of the house that had cleaned up New York finally. Tried to get rid of a lot of the bad element there. Mm-hmm. So it's more, family oriented there than it used to be, a lot more. But there's still problems. There's still there is a lack of numbers in the police force, period. The crime rate in New York, yes, it may have gone down a little bit, but it's still pretty existent there. It's still pretty bad. You hear about it every single day. It's on almost every newscast that something happens up there. So you can't sit there as a somebody who's running for the highest office in the city to sit there and have your background be what it was, the things that you've said, and not just said 20 years ago. These are things that were said within the last 5 years. That he wants to defund police. Mamdani.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about.
Wrong with
no, I don't think so at all. I think that when you start arming your police force, I think that what invites more crime is lack of education. What invites more crime is lack of having the money to pay for groceries or pay for housing or just have a basic decency or a place to live. Things of that nature that invites crime. I think that's our worst problem right there.
That leads to leadership. That's a leadership problem.
Absolutely.
That means leadership of New York.
And I think that
Kathy Hochul. That means the Democratic governor of New York is failing her citizens, period.
No, I mean, I would say that it's been going on. They've been failing. This country has failed itself for a very, very, very long time. It's not just.
We're not talking about the country. We're talking about the state of New York.
It's this country as a whole. When you turn to it, but let's just say the state of New York is probably one of the wealthier, more educated states in the union. So let's just figure out where the rest of these guys are falling at right there. We're going to point at New York and say New York with its over 12, 15, 20 million people are having crime problems. When you have to look at a little city which probably has like 5,000-6,000 people, we're all on drugs. I mean, there's you know what I'm saying? That's not to knock drugs. I'm just saying there's a problem there. So we cannot look at New York and be like, you're the worst possible thing there is. Look at New York and California, but they're thriving overall. They're thriving.
I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you can't have a candidate with the track record of Mamdani take what he wants to do to that city, because it's not going to happen.
What's wrong with what he wants to do there? I haven't heard anything bad that he wants to do. When he's talking about, hey, let's try an idea. We bring in 5 grocery stores, one for each borough, and we see if we can try to help out with with pricing for our people. One store, maybe
there's 5 boroughs. There's 5 boroughs for what, 15, 20 million people, you said?
Yeah, well, he's gonna it's a try. He's just putting out a market research kind of thing.
Is he gonna sit there and go, all right, well,
no,
in the city of New York, we can't have.
He doesn't have to. You know what'll happen if his store's people are going to this store more. What he'll do is say, you know what, let's build another one in this borough. Maybe it needs another one, and maybe those other stores will say, you know what, maybe we need to start competing with these prices instead of gouging. We've heard what happened when the Democrats came out in the summer of the election cycle and said, you know what, we should put out a bill where we start getting into price gouging for supermarkets. What they start doing? Oh, we're going to cut our prices by 30%. Who could cut your prices by 30% out of the blue, and not lose money and be okay with it? Who do you know? Unless they were already beating you to begin with. Let's just be honest. We got to do something about that. That's a problem. I'm watching my grocery bill.
My grocery bill is crazy. Shouldn't do something about that. But what I'm saying is, you can't sit there and tell a whole city you've got to clamp down on what you charge for things. That's not going to happen.
I think
you can't have the taxes are too high in that state for any prices to come down. Unless they bring the taxes down, they are not going to be able to afford to have a business there to begin with.
I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think that they'll make concessions for whatever the taxes will be. But if the prices are down,
you're a business owner.
Yeah,
if your taxes go up, what happens to the prices that you have to charge somebody?
Listen, it's not like that.
No,
it's not like
question.
Answer the question. But that's not how it is. But that's not how it is. Because this is how taxes are kind of allocated. First, you're taxed on whatever the state tax is that you bring in. That's the state tax. You give that to them off top. That's their money that you give to them off top. You may be taxed on what you earn, but as a business owner, you know how to curtail what you earn. Right? This is what I spent. This is what I earned. So I'm able to kind of use that differently. So it's a different way to do it. Depending on what I'm earning, if I'm earning more money, I'm going to be taxed more.
Use the tax code, right?
That's kind of what they do. But at the end of the day, so you're only being taxed on what you earn. So if a business is earning a lot of money, they're going to get taxed on the money that they earn. It doesn't mean that I'm going to tax a business more. I'm not saying that.
Listen, I'm not talking about the money you earn. Property taxes.
Okay.
Sales taxes.
Okay.
All things that go up because the states need money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what causes a lot of why your rent has to go up. Why the cost of wood to fix something goes up. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the income that you make. I'm talking about all the stuff that's surrounded.
I think those things could also be put into this bill as a whole, as whatever it's a bill, whatever it is, put into this and looked at as well. You're not just going to look at one thing and say, you know what, let's just bring the prices down and not worry about the business because you need the business.
They're not going to lower the taxes.
If
you lower taxes, then you run the risk of not being able to spend money on the social programs that you have.
This is not to say, this depending upon what people have. People have more money to spend on certain things. You may not need as many social programs at that point. If I got more money to spend on childcare, I may not need a childcare program. I may not need this or this, that, or the third. If I have more money for these things.
Are you talking about Democrats? Because Democrats don't know how to stay away from social programs. Spend money on social programs. You guys go crazy when there's no money for social programs.
It's crazy that the Republicans talk about who are more in need of the social programs than anyone. And they're the ones talking about how Democrats are here to help them. We're helping the Republicans with these social programs.
Are you trying to tell me that we don't spend more in big cities on social programs than other places in the country?
Of course, because there's more people. Because there's more people. That's right. Normal. It's like to say if there's 10 people over here and one person over here,
you're
saying more for the 10 people than I am for the one.
You just got done saying Republicans, and it's mostly Democrats that live in those cities. Yes.
What I'm going to say is this right here.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. If you're going off of sheer, we have to look.
We're talking numbers, sheer numbers.
We have to look at this as far as percentage wise as well too, because even in those states, most of these sheer numbers are saying that blue states are paying for red states to have social programs. Period. Overall, so they're covering their people in their state and they're covering yours. Let's say that's sheer numbers. If we want to talk about sheer numbers, but what we're saying is percentage wise.
But yet they have budget deficits in those states. Complete.
You know that most states can't run. I think it's municipalities, cities can't run budget deficits. But these states are being able to pay for themselves and take care of their responsibilities more or less. They're not borrowing money from the federal government. They're not doing any of that, and they're putting money back into the federal government.
A lot of big cities get money from the federal government. That's
but most of them are putting money. Most blue cities are putting money back into the federal government. When you got states who are just red states who are not. But with that, we'll leave it there for today. I think ALC. She may be good to run.
I think it would be fun to watch her run. I think it would be fun to see her on a debate stage. I really do. I really think it would be fun to see her. I think there's, it's not going to be a Kamala Harris to Joe Biden, you're a racist kind of thing. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think there's anybody to say that about. I don't think there's going to be anybody to say that about.
No. I don't think anybody's going to say that to AFC. But what I'm saying is, I don't think you have that kind of
vitriol. No, they're going to fight this out because it's wide open. They got to fight this out. They have to fight this out.
I don't think it's going to be calling Big Daddy a racist.
I know. I think what it'll end up being is calling her socialist, and that's just as bad in this country when you say it overall as an overall thing. In this country, the people don't understand that some forms of socialism are helpful and other forms are hurtful. We don't understand.
She does have her what's the word I'm looking for? Faux pas when it comes to some of the statements that she's made over the last few years. But I mean, that's going to come out.
For everybody. That's for everybody too.
That's going to happen with everybody. But I think it's going to be fun. I really do. I think there's at least a dozen people I know of that could probably run on the Democratic side. And there's only one that I know of that I would vote for if she runs. Just
who? Who is it?
Amy Klobuchar.
Like Amy Klobuchar,
huh? If she'd have come out in 2016 and beaten Hillary, I would have voted for her. You
think that what is it for what purpose? What do you think that she brings to the table?
She is down the middle centrist. She is what a liberal is supposed to be.
Whoa. Just a liberal, huh? Not a conservative,
no.
Just a liberal, huh?
No, that's what a centrist liberal is supposed to be. That's who she is.
All right, I'll give you that one. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research. I know a little bit about Amy Klobuchar, but I'm gonna do some more research on her as well too. And with that,
because you don't do research on anything else.
And with that, this is uncommon. This is sorry about this. Is Civil Discourse. I am your host Wesley. This is my co-host Steve. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a great night.